waiting on this. And of course, the media has already failed me, and it's very early in the morning. We gonna be clocking all of these because yesterday in the NFL on Sunday, we saw many of the media's darlings have terrible games, 100% worthy of criticism. And I just want to see if the media is going to make as big of a deal about talking about interceptions, or do they not matter anymore? Since Dak ain't throwing them like that, do they not matter anymore? I want to see if the media is going to be even-handed in its criticism and its passion for its criticism as they are for the Dallas Cowboys. And spoiler alert, the answer is no. Check this out and check out how these dudes are making excuses or just flat out trying to ignore the actual conversations that need to be had about these teams.
Is there any reason to be concerned?
I think it's, and she just texted me, we're going to game 2 of the playoffs tomorrow night, so she's like, remember where we're going, be nice to Philly. There's concern I think it's realistic to be concerned with the roller coaster performance from the offense right now. Last year it was such this consistent high level of play, but the roller coaster right now, I think that's fair to sit there and go like, it doesn't look the same.
Your point about Jalen's mentality and being inconsistent, that's a big reason why I have no concerns about this team. This team is going to be there in the end. We're going to have to deal with them. The only thing this answered to me is that this team won't be undefeated. But this team is going to win a lot of fights.
Yeah, there will be no unbeaten. So pop that champagne, Bob Greasy and everybody. But very quickly, you mentioned they missed Shane Steichen.
Yeah.
There's a long season left to go. Will they get back to where they need to be and play championship caliber football by the end of this year?
Oh, absolutely. And the biggest reason is because this defense, they have that mentality as well. And we forget about that. Look how they turn the ball over. They get out there and they sick them. I have no concerns about that. I trust Jalen Hurts. I've seen a guy that I wondered if he had the skill set to play the position in the national.
You just want a little bit more consistency.
This kid will get back.
I would say this.
Oh, no. We're not going to just skate past this. See, this is what I'm talking about. You got to come prepared with your homework. Going into week 6, the Eagles had the 25th ranked passing defense in the league. I think that is a problem. And I think a lot of people that actually saw those Eagles games would say that if it wasn't for the fact that the teams they were playing were kind of subpar, they could have possibly lost a lot more of those games. On top of that, Jalen Hurts is having a bad year so far, guys. His overall quarterback rating is 84.7. He has 8 turnovers in 6 games, including the second most league-leading interceptions of 7 through 6 games. And this is how we're talking.
Lane Johnson is a big deal.
And they lost to me. I totally agree. All right, we'll do much more of that.
We see it, Cowboys fans. We see it. We see what the deal is. We're not going to get a fair shake at this. I encourage all Cowboys fans, bro, stop giving ESPN your views. This man, the highest paid running back in the National Football League. He seems like a good dude, but he's a high paid running back. This man threw 3 interceptions yesterday. This man literally threw an interception that led to the Jets' game-leading touchdown. And they said, what? On Get Up this morning? And see, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Cowboys fans, be very aware of what you're watching. Right before that segment, right before the clip I showed you, they just discussed how Dan Orlovsky's wife is a Philly fan. Oh, kind of makes sense why he's not overly critical or way too hard on Philly or not as willing to go in on Philly now because it may have some impact on his freaking sheet nights, all right? That kind of makes sense now. On top of the media, it seems like half of the media is consistent of ex and former Philadelphia players. As if that wasn't bad enough, they completely overlooked the terrible, exposing game that Brock Purdy just had. This was the one and first moment in Brock Purdy's career where he was the one that was charged with having to lead that team and be the main person to make it go. This was the first moment in Brock Purdy's career where that was the situation. And what happens? He lets you down. He lets you down. You can't even score 20. You get beat by a backup quarterback. And I have to sit here and listen to Dan Orlovsky make excuses for this man, talking about, oh, maybe it was because of the weather. Maybe he underthrew a receiver by like 5 yards because of a little water on the ball.
In the end, Purdy still had it. The great teams that I've been on, you win ugly. I've had backup quarterbacks on our team still push us all the way to the fourth quarter. But in the end, Purdy still came to play. He got the ball driven down for a makeable field goal. 41 yards, I think it was, on the road in this slop. That's still a makeable field goal, and that's what the great teams do. They still win that game, and they just didn't finish it. It's like, start the buses, put it through the goalpost, let's get out of here.
For a moment in this game, had an impact because there were some throws that Brock Purdy missed.
He dropped the ball.
Back-to-back plays. So I'm not overly concerned with San Francisco's performance.
Are the 49ers, we have no one beat.
These are those plays, real quickly.
Yeah.
Like,
That's rich. That's so rich. Okay, so in that very same segment, you just contradicted yourself. You said maybe the weather bothered Brock. You don't think maybe the weather bothered the kicker? Maybe the kicker deserves a pass here? Maybe instead of Brock Purdy, maybe they could have gotten a little bit closer than a 41-yard field goal for the last play? Maybe. Since it was bad weather, since the weather was that bad. I'm just saying the weather was bad, right? Maybe the kicker needed a little bit of grace. Nah, bruh. We seen his stats. Dude threw for under 50% passing, fam. No, sir. Had a 50-something quarterback rating. No, sir. Not gonna get the job done. Oh, especially since y'all was making a big deal about Dak just not lighting the field up in like week 1 or something like that whenever he was playing in rainy conditions. I didn't hear y'all being like, oh, the red zone issues wasn't a big deal because it was raining and stuff, so it was all good. No, that was an issue. It was an issue since week 1, so it's going to be an issue now. If it's up, then it's up. You see how ridiculous it sounds for me to be sitting here micro-analyzing everything y'all say? That's what y'all do to the Cowboys. So as long as y'all doing it to the Cowboys, as long as y'all do it to Dak, I'm going to do it to y'all. I'm on y'all heads with any of the takes y'all make, any of the contradictions, and this is one of them, bruh. Maybe he completed 50% of his passes through one pick terribly behind one of his receivers. Maybe he did that because he had a little bit of sprinkles going on in the game here and there. Dan Orlovsky, he did not play under a tornado. He did not play in a hurricane. He played in Cleveland. He played in the weather that's usually in Cleveland. You get a little drizzle here and there, but for the most part, it's just overcast all day long, right? He played in Cleveland and got that ass beat. Jalen Hurts, y'all gave this man all the excuses in the world. Oh, I'm not worried about it. It's all cool. I didn't hear none of them bring up the 3 interceptions. I didn't hear none of them bring up how important those 3 interceptions was. I didn't hear none of them bring up the fact that Jalen Hurts is leading the league, or second to lead in the league in interceptions this season. I didn't hear none of these facts be stated. But let my Cowboys lose. Let Dak Prescott had either the type of game that Brock Purdy had or Jalen Hurts had, and we see what happened. Oh, but never mind. He did have the type of game Jalen Hurts had last week. We saw what happened. They absolutely destroyed him. And I would say Jalen Hurts was more responsible for the Eagles losing this game than Dak was responsible for the Cowboys losing against the 49ers. Against the 49ers, every Cowboy on that field, from quarterback to tight end to the lineman to everybody, got their ass beat. Jalen Hurts specifically lost the Eagles this game. No mention of it. No passion. No table thumping. No, should they make a quarterback change? It's now been a large enough sample size. He's leading the league in turnovers, or one of the league leaders in turnovers. And we have not heard not one peep about this man's turnovers. We just saw multiple players, or pretty much all of the NFL media darlings, make terrible passes, and pretty much all of them have pretty subpar games yesterday. Where's the criticism? Where's all this? Oh, top-ranked NFL quarterbacks, they don't have bad games. They don't give games away. They don't do X, Y, and Z. Where's all that? Literally all of these dudes played like trash yesterday. We saw Josh Allen barely beat the Giants with a backup quarterback, threw an interception, didn't have that good of a stat line. I think he was like 50% passing or something like that, under 200 yards. We saw Jalen Hurts throw 3 interceptions and I believe fumble yesterday. We saw Brock Purdy look like the draft pick that he was yesterday when it all came on his shoulders for the first time. What did Brock Purdy do? He laid a giant turdy. All I gotta say is the media ain't gonna do it because the media is sideways, they two-faced, and it's pretty obvious that Cowboys fans need to quit giving these people their clicks and their views because they doing it for y'all. They doing this because they're trying to trigger Cowboys fans, make them emotional, and then get them to watch their programs. That's why they're doing it. Stop giving them what they want, and you will see this start to change. If it affects their ratings and it affects their bottom line, you will see the media coverage of our team become more on par with what we see with other NFL teams. When other NFL teams have a bad week, it's just a bad week. I trust these guys. He looks like such a great leader. He has commercials on Hulu. He looks like, I trust these guys. Jalen Hurts has been a starting quarterback in the NFL for 1 season. There is no reason, a full season. There is no reason that you should have this level of trust in him to where he's leading the league in turnovers now through 3 interceptions and lost a game. And you just, it's all good. Stop it. The media's full of it. I'm not going to let Eagles fans or Niners fans sleep this week. I'm on the media's dome cap. And don't let the Cowboys win tonight. It's going to be a long week for everybody watching this channel. If they lose, I'm still going to be making content. How about the Cowboys?